Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Balls, Blazers and Back Chat with your favourite and regular hosts, me, Scants and Catty. How's it going, Catty, mate?
Very good, thank you, Scants. A little bit nervous tonight because obviously we always said we wouldn't have 4 on at once, but I think we had problems getting these boys on their own. They were a bit scared, so they only came as a package.
It's a bit of a double
I
act.
can steal this.
Well, no talking yet. I haven't introduced you. Sorry, guys. One of them's already introduced himself, Jamie Campbell, and the other part of effing CrossFit is Tom McCrone. How are you doing, boys?
Yeah, good. I tell you, Will Roberts was very pissed off that he wasn't invited to this.
Have you told him about it?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, we had to break the news to him today, unfortunately. It was probably a little bit emotional.
You're probably doing something on a Sunday evening altogether, otherwise, aren't you?
We had to bin him off, yeah.
What's the local pub you boys go to?
Merry Fiddlers.
Is that it? The one down is it by the golf club or?
Yeah.
Yeah, a few Guinness. We'll be looking forward to some Guinnesses soon, won't we, boys?
Oh, God, can't wait.
So, good stuff. How's fatherhood, Crony?
Oh, mate, struggle. No, it's not. It's good. It's really good.
Early morning, lots of walkies.
No, she's good, mate. She sleeps till about 6:30. She's good. She's good. She has her crazy moments, but
I saw you doing some dog agility today. I don't know if a few people on Instagram might have seen.
Oh yeah, just getting ready for Crufts next year, mate. Just in the crossbreed section.
Yeah, lovely. Might need a new owner or I don't know what you call them.
Handler.
A handler. You were quite clumsy on your handling today, weren't you?
I was.
Go to Sophie Ryder's Instagram if anyone wants to see that. It'll be up for 24 hours. Singles are all pretty doing well. I don't think there's obviously I think the only rugby update, Marcus, is that squad's going to be back training on 30th of March.
Yeah, Tuesday week, boys are back in. I think we're going to have 5 weeks of training leading into the first game, which will hopefully be away at Bury St Edmunds on the 1st of May.
Okay.
Exciting, mate. Exciting.
All right. So we've that first game is dialed in, all being well, government regulation wise.
Yeah, and then just obviously waiting for the RFU to some guidance around sort of transport or travel to games and changing room and all that boring stuff, but stuff which probably needs to be looked at to suppress this COVID and not let it back in. And
we're first and second team, aren't we?
Yeah. First three rounds of games will be big squads, and then we'll look to for rounds 4 to 6 will be like 2 games going on at once. Hopefully, again, this is all subject to change, but that's what we're planning on doing. We want to give all the boys a go and give some lads an opportunity to put their hand up and show what they're about.
Mm. Did Crony or Jamie, did Sheafy drop in your messages today, or was that just me?
Not me, maybe Crony.
No. Just the big lads, I think, Scants. I got a message.
Oh, just the big lads.
We're just chatting weights and.
Yeah, well,
he knows I'm on top of it. That's why.
We was talking weights, and then he said you haven't been doing any cardio, and I was like, not regularly. No, the odd 2K, but not regular cardio. So I think he's got some plans for me when we get back, but.
I think he openly told me that my lungs are going to suffer come the 30th of March. So
I think he's rubbing his hands.
Does the 20-metre duck walk not count, Scants?
Well, that has been the most cardio I've done recently, pretty much. 100 keys though, Marcus, mate.
Okay, sorry, bro.
Hundy Club.
Hundy Club.
Oh, okay. We'll let Crony jump. Crony's actually representing a fellow club member. Do you want to talk us through it, Carl?
Oh yeah, I think I don't know if anyone knows, but I think Ryan Palmer has just launched this brand, very good brand. So yeah, I bought a t-shirt. I think Jamie's got a couple.
It's not a sponsorship deal then? You're not an athlete. You're not on a.
I'm open to sponsorship deals. It's not at the moment, but I think on the back of this podcast, I think Ryan might approach me with some freebies.
Perhaps you can get in the CrossFit box. I mean, it would be nice, seeing as we're doing some advertisement on a big podcast. If perhaps me and Marcus got sent for a bit of stash, we could maybe even work a sponsorship deal there. I don't know.
You should get an email address, mate, and they can the offers will flood in.
Yeah, hopefully so. Right, enough stupid chat. Jamie's getting bored. It feels like. Are we keeping you away from something? We said no football chat.
Told you Spurs are on. Spurs are on, mate.
I bet you've got a screen on in the background, haven't you?
I haven't, of course.
Why do you keep looking up to the left?
It's up here, my TV. No, I wouldn't. I don't want to watch that crap anyway.
Nah, it's not going very well. City are pacing everyone, aren't they? So I don't know. I think we're going to let. Obviously, people have been here, and me and Marcus do a lot of talking. So hopefully, we'll let you two boys plenty of chat tonight. And I guess we'll do a bit of a running order. I mean, we're going to chat to the lads just about obviously their time playing and sort of some memories, and maybe hopefully we'll work some stories, some chat about tours, piss ups, court sessions, all that sort of stuff. Try and get some gossip where there is some. I thought we'd maybe touch on. We've very briefly touched in previous podcasts, maybe about some famous players we've played with or against, sort of through school, Colts and senior rugby, because there's maybe a few interesting ones in there. We're going to do a Hollywood actress 15. So we're going to pick who we think might be pretty good in a team, and hopefully spark a little discussion, and obviously finish up with some Six Nations chat, which is pretty juicy. What we should call the final weekend, I guess, but obviously one game still to play. So we'll see how it goes. So I don't know. Do one of you boys want to kick us off? Obviously, I know Crony. Well, Jamie, you've been at. Let's start with you, Jamie. When did you join the club? You're a wee 6, 7, or 8 year old or something?
I played. I think maybe a couple of years when I was a little toddy. Probably 7, 8, 9, maybe. I'm not sure exactly. And then it was a bit cold for me, so I decided to give it up for a little while. And also, like when I went to the college and stuff, that kind of took up a lot of my time. And then kind of rejoined. To be honest, I didn't really play a huge amount of rugby. I wasn't obviously any good, still not. But I went basically when I went to the boys' side for sixth form. That really reintroduced me to it. So,
it was cold.
16, 17. Started playing at the boys' side properly, playing for the second team there and the first and stuff.
Okay.
And then rejoined the club at kind of under 17s, where I kind of really started playing week in, week out there, and that kind of got me into it. That was maybe, well, not exactly the same story for you, Crony, but you were. When did you join the club? At 16, 17?
Yeah, I think I did like a season when we were in year 8, maybe, because I didn't play rugby until I went to the boys' high, and then I think I joined for a season in year 8, and then left, then came back properly at under 17s when we had Jim Taylor as our coach.
Yeah,
and I think we went to like the national final that year. And won the plate, I believe, up at Franklin's Gardens. And then ever since then, I've obviously been involved.
You wasn't it?
Well, we at 17s we were in the plate or the trophy or something. Yeah, and then again at Colts the year after when you boys were the year above us in that you were the older year. Then we went again and won, which was good.
Because you were go on, mate.
I think I played second row that game.
Yeah, you had the proper tape round your legs and head, wasn't it?
Yeah, got the whole shebang.
And round we had to tape up.
What did you do before rugby, Crony? I know you rate yourself as a footballer. Were you released from Stortford Colts or something?
I played football before I came to boys' high. That's sort of what not really my dad got me into, but I also played golf as well. So my dad got me into golf. And then boys' high obviously being a massive rugby school, everyone turns up on that
big lad
that first Saturday in year 7.
Pick the big lads out, don't they? They're like, who's the big lads?
And I think because I was probably I had a growth spurt before year 7, and I think someone popped over to my dad and said, you should probably give it a run at the club as well. And then I think going to boys' high probably turned me into a rugby player, and helped, and especially with Ian Simpson there as well at the time, all the way through till we were sixth form, really sort of
Yeah. I
pushed me on as well.
think obviously me, you, and Jamie have played loads of rugby together because obviously through school and coach, and then obviously like you just mentioned it there, that close link of having Simo coaching at the school, and obviously being a big part of playing rugby and coaching at the club as well. It was such a seamless crossover. You know, we knew what was going on in senior rugby at the club. You know, before we were playing it almost. So, and Simo, to be fair, I've got pretty fond memories. He was had his individual style as a coach, but I think, you know, he taught us a lot, taught us the basics pretty well. A lot of shouting and a lot of doing, but
a lot of running. I remember in the mud.
A lot of wet weather rugby, wasn't it? Playing, was it in the 15 channel?
Yeah, you couldn't leave the 15 channel, could you?
Yeah, it was basically 15 blokes all playing rugby in 15 metres of space and how to keep the ball.
It was when we used to have training at lunchtime, and you didn't have time for a shower, so you used to run with your suit on to assembly.
Yeah, caked in mud.
Yeah, caked in mud.
I remember when we were in sixth form, I think we were in upper sixth, Scants, and Simo, obviously at the club, they started doing probably video analysis around that time, and we started introducing it at school. And it just turned into Simo finding funny moments in rugby games of like one of us getting punched or like dropping the ball and things like that.
There was you getting done. Do you know who that? There was just you getting done by a Felsted prop, wasn't there?
Yeah, at the scrum.
Full
scrum engaged, and then my head just popped out the scrum from a full blindside flanker.
Oh,
I had to drive all the way from Felsted to the minor injuries unit at Hertford with one eye like this, with Aaron Martinson in the car, like guiding me down the A10.
Sorry. While we're also talking about school, is it you that had to send an email to a headmaster to apologise for getting a red card? Was that you as well?
I think, yeah.
The Royal Hospital School, was that right?
Yeah, I'll put a bit of context in this. We played a first 15 game against them, and they hadn't had the strongest of seasons, and I think we were expected to beat them quite comfortably. And it was their headmaster who was reffing the game.
Oh yeah.
And bearing in mind, we used to get Hearts referees in to ref the first team school games, and I think I got a bit annoyed with how blatantly biased he was.
We'd had two yellow cards up in the game already, haven't we? Or you were probably one of them, I guess.
Yeah, and I think he just had enough of me. So yeah, got a red card, and then I had to go into Simo's office on the Monday, and we sat down and composed a letter. It was quite funny composing it with Simo, actually. And had to send that off. And I think start the letter with sorry, Corona. If you say sorry first.
What was the red card for then? You're just abusing him.
Bad chat, probably.
Yeah, I said something I shouldn't have said to him out of frustration.
That's unlike you, Tom.
Yeah, no swearing on this podcast, Corona. Don't repeat it.
That naughty word you used against that black prop.
I do remember that. To my defence, when I left the pitch, Bob Winnington actually said he agreed with what I said to the headmaster. So I'll take that. I was sort of in the right.
Oh, good old Bob.
Good old Bob. I just thought of something, but I can't think what I was going to say now. That's no good. No, that's what it was. No, last little thing quickly. You used to play number 8 at school, didn't you, Crony?
Oh, mate, yeah. So second 15 in lower six.
Second 15, number 8. Have you played number 8 since or not?
Well, I did actually pack down at number 8 against Canterbury second team last season when I was playing for the Blues in the second half. I didn't touch the ball. It was for one scrum, I think in the last 5 minutes. But
didn't get a chance to pick and go.
Unfortunately not.
Disappointing.
Yeah, it's a big Billy Vunipola.
Yes, yeah.
Big ball carrier, I reckon.
I did score a hat-trick once at number 8 against RGS Colchester for the second 15 at Boys High.
Good man.
Yeah.
There's some stats. You clearly remember them. So
it's good times, isn't it? I think grand total of about 5 or 6 metres pick and goes, but
yeah. My try scoring days ended at school as well. So go on, Marcus.
That's mine.
I was going to say, boys, first team debuts. Jamie, do you want to kick off? Where was your?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I have no idea.
You couldn't tell us.
Okay, tell us about Lydney.
It was at home.
Yeah.
No way. Oh. Say that again.
Tell us about your Lydney away venture on the wing. Go
on. That was. What year was that? I was probably only been playing for a couple of years. I was on the bench, and I can't remember who got injured. Obviously, one of the wingers or back or something. And I was the back row replacement, so I had my tape on and everything, ready to come on with whatever number 19 on my back or something. And yes, one of the backs got injured. I think they had to do a bit of reshuffling, and I had to play 20 minutes on the wing. Obviously, standing on the touchline, ripping my tape off, about to run on. Didn't want to look like a complete muppet, did I? But I think I did all right, actually. I maybe took a couple of balls, probably made 10 metres, made a couple of tackles.
Solid.
If I remember right, Ollie Day played for them at that point, didn't he?
Yeah, he was there, yeah.
I think we won comfortably in the end, but that was probably one of my earlier highlights of my first 15 outings. But I remember, I think my first game was, I can't remember who it was against, but it was when Peter Engledale was coaching.
Yeah.
I think he quite liked me at the time, maybe because I was a bit full of beans, but
saw that banging
yeah. But that was obviously that must have been National 3 at that point, was it?
Yeah, Nat 3, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a bit easier back then.
Because you and Decky came into the squad. You two now probably, other than Jimmy,
I was 17
the most experienced boys in the squad now.
Yeah, maybe Winter as well. He's been in there. Well, he left and came back a bit, didn't he?
Yeah, because you and Deck didn't go uni, did you?
No. So yeah, I think I was 17 when I made my first team debut, and then I think I played a few times for the next couple of years, but then kind of, fizzled out a bit when the team got promoted a few times. But so almost over 10 years now in the first team squad. So still here.
So yeah, second team. You're second team captain for.
I am, yeah.
That was I
guess officially for the first time.
I was going to say it's officially name written on the team sheet or whatever as the announcement. You must be excited about that.
Yeah, I am actually. We've got obviously now, especially coming into having a year off. It's quite exciting time. I kind of got that buzz back, So I'm kind of desperate to get back because at the end of maybe the season before when kind of had to call it short, we kind of are just losing a bit of that buzz, that love.
Yeah.
After so many years and kind of it changing from, with the second team when I started playing was full of, it wasn't nowhere near as serious and it wasn't a first and second team squad. It was a second team, which was completely different to what it is now. So, which was great fun playing with all these old legends and stuff. But then now obviously it's a lot more serious and, I was getting older and all these young kids coming through and I was just losing a little bit of that love. But now, I don't know, this break seems to have given me a bit more of a buzz and energy and I'm just really keen to get back, to be honest. Just to get back with the lads and enjoy that camaraderie and just have a bit of a banter and
I think
a bit of exercise,
I think you're right. A break's just, everything you do, just a little break just freshens you up and it's going to make us all hungry. And this has obviously been a massively long break for us and obviously to see some rugby, obviously start training in a week or so and hopefully play some games in a month or bit. It's going to be good. So yeah, Croney, let's run through the same thing with you. Can you remember your first? How many games you played for the first team now? You're in the 100 club, aren't you?
Yeah, I think I'm about 160 or just over. I think I picked up the 150th with Deck in the last season. That wasn't the full season. I think just before Christmas we both, or just after Christmas, both played our 150th. So that was quite a special moment, I think. So quite proud of that.
And what do you think?
Same game.
Sorry.
So was it the same game?
No, I don't think it was, but I think that it got announced on Twitter in at the same time.
What do you think? I don't know. It's perhaps a hard question to answer, but what do you think? What do you sort of put that down to? Managing, obviously 160 games for the first team is a massively impressive thing, mate. And
I think bit of luck, to be honest. Like I sort of fell on my feet with my debut back in the first season we were in Nat 2, so I think 2013. I got a call from Longy while I was at university because we were going through a bit of a tight head prop injury crisis. And I think a few different bodies had played tight head once sort of Sean had been injured and we were struggling. And I had a good chat with Longy about coming back and sort of seeing if I could help out and fit in. And so ever since then, I sort of a bit lucky that happened and sort of fell into it there, and then continued to come back from uni with Banksy and play throughout that season, and then just sort of fell into it from there. But I think staying relatively injury free has helped me. I've probably, apart from the first season I played, I think I've probably played over 20 games each season. I think one season me and Gilly played all 30, which is quite a long sort of stint, and especially for two forwards. So I think a bit of luck and a bit of hard work as well, and it's but it's made easy as well because obviously you're playing with some of your best mates and like your good mates at the club, and it's actually something you enjoy doing. So I think that's half the battle, and it makes you sort of want to work hard and represent the club at all times. And I think I sort of put it down to that. But definitely a little bit. There's got to be some luck and things falling in place along the way as well. Yeah,
I definitely think you're right on the injury front because it's something, maybe I thought of you less than that. The first person that you mentioned him that always comes to my mind when you think of not getting injuries or he's just a bit of a hard bastard really, but he's Banksy, Tom Banks. He's obviously played alongside you and probably got a similar number of games as you has, and he's managed to get through fairly injury free. But you have had a bit of trouble, haven't you? You've had some issues with your shoulder.
Yeah, I think. Well, I can't remember the day. It was in 2019. So I think our second season or first season in that one, and busted it up in a game against Loughborough, and then it was a bit of a tricky one because we had, as with most times at Stortford, we don't have many fit props available at once, and I was told in October or November I needed surgery, but sort of we didn't have any props at the time, so we decided I'd get through it with some steroid injections in the shoulder, which looking back on it was probably the wrong decision. But you tell any player they can play for the rest of the season with steroid injections, they're gonna say yes, aren't they? And then had surgery at the end of that season in May, funded by Club Stortford, which was obviously really generous and really lucky for that. And then I think I missed. Luckily, I just missed most of the pre-season and I think a month of what was last season. That was really the first proper injury I've had where I've had to be out for, I guess, more than a couple of weeks. And it was pretty tough going at start, having sort of never experienced it. But you sort of get through it. And it's, I think the shoulder, I was told when it happened that if I did go down the route of the steroid injection and the surgery later, I'd probably going to have a bit of a naff shoulder for, I guess the rest of my playing career and the lot of my life. And it's definitely not sort of back to 100% yet, but it's better. And I guess blessing in disguise, probably not playing for years. I've noticed it's come on leaps and bounds, but I probably would have rather playing. But it's definitely getting there.
Scant, do you mind if we play a quick game with Crony? Actually,
yeah. Okay, that sounds nice.
Let's go.
I didn't know you prepared it, but this sounds good.
Yeah. So I'd like to introduce him first. So one of the most capped players in the senior member squad at the moment, that's Jamie. The other one is Crony. He's the most talked about player in the national leagues by the refereeing panel. So Crony, welcome to this is your life. You've already mentioned that obviously you like playing with the lads, the camaraderie and, just being around your best buds. So obviously you probably know what they think about you. So we'll play a little game here. And for every one you get wrong, this will be like maybe a broken Bronco at training, first hit back. So I've asked the boys to describe you in one word. You've got 3 guesses. You've got to pick 3 right answers. For every one you get wrong, that is a broken Bronco. Okay. So what word would you like to say best describes you from your teammates?
Angry.
Nope. That's incorrect. That's one incorrect answer.
It's
tricky, this. I would say handsome, but I don't know if that's
don't say that.
Is that your answer?
No, it's not. Aggressive.
Nope. I suppose one's punching, but I think they mean that as in maybe your other half, like you're punching with the other half, I think. So no, that's too.
I think Croney, think outside the box a little bit, Croney.
Yeah, you're thinking too. No.
Can we give him 2 more guesses? Double the question.
2 more guesses, then I'll read out some of the answers.
I've done whip, so probably not.
Something very obvious about you
come on, mate.
and other people.
Something very obvious. What's a common trait amongst the huge Thorpe audience?
Oh, ginger.
Yeah, there's one. There you go. So you got 1 out of 4. One more guess.
Any lookalikes?
Some similarities soon.
Yeah, maybe a lookalike.
Jim Bloxham.
Incorrect.
No. Honey Monster?
No.
Oh, I don't know then, lookalikes.
All good lookalikes, though.
Syndrome, the cartoon character from
Incredibles.
What's his other name?
JG's favourite, isn't it?
But there's some other ones. So, Ginger was one. Punching, I think they meant, obviously, you and your other half. Fisherman. Someone said fisherman. I don't know what that means.
Oh.
That was Seb, I think.
Fishing for retaliation of players.
Nibbles.
Yeah.
Grumpy. That's tough, I think.
I definitely am probably one of the grumpiest at training.
Drew. 2 people said sin bin.
I've got better over the years.
Thinning.
Matured.
Thinning. Oh, yeah. Waistline, yeah. Waistline.
As in, I think, hair. Potentially.
Okay.
Could be both. And then 2 lookalikes. Well, one was Syndrome. One was Jim Gaffigan, who I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is either.
And apparently you were on The Voice 2 years ago and got to the
That was good banter. So I must be able to get the picture here. Hold on.
But,
JG loves the lookalikes more than anyone else. He just sends me them every
I think it was John George sent a few. This is the guy from The Voice.
Yeah,
go get Ryder's glasses.
Have you got any bins? Groney? Or sing us a song. Maybe.
Not quite.
No. We won't subject the listeners.
But anyway, that's the end of the game show. So thank you to the National 2 South Team of the Year prop nomination, 2016-17. Sean Edwards still believes that that was actually him in the Team of the Year. But Thomas McCrone, this is your life. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't think I've ever seen Sean Edwards so angry when I got in that team ahead of him.
That was very funny. We were on Bawley's Stag Dude going down to the races in Brighton, and he was in the foulest mood for the rest of the weekend. He couldn't believe it. He was beside himself.
Oh, good stuff. I mean, talking of stag do's and beers, maybe, I don't know, you got any good memories from the beers? Maybe some Jersey tours, Jamie?
Oh, always Jersey
tours. How many Jersey tours have you done? I suppose recently it's probably 3 or 4?
4, maybe 5. I like 4.
Yeah, I think we all loved it, but as soon as because obviously we've been playing Jersey. Is it 4 or 5 seasons now? As soon as that Jersey fixture dropped in
the first one was unreal.
Dropped in the books, but
Ed Merivale chundering on the plane on the way home in the morning.
I still remember the air hostess bringing in the sick bags because he didn't have enough in the pocket, and then I think he was sicking it and then had to carry it off the plane. Did he? I can't remember.
And we also Adam, the current physio.
Yeah, I missed that one.
He was in a really bad way the last time we went. Oh god, I don't think he drinks a lot, but he was on it.
Yeah.
He was. I think he threw up a few times the next morning as well.
Yeah. The only bad thing is we always play them in, was it like October or November or December, don't we?
Well,
so I think for everyone, most of the time when you turn up to Jersey, for anyone obviously it hasn't flown there, the airport is the size of like a thumbnail. I think the last time I went, our flight was delayed, wasn't it? So we had about.
Yeah, we were sitting at the airport.
One time, have we walked to the rugby club from the airport?
Yeah, it's quite close.
So we either had to walk or there was like 4 or 5 fans plus like the Jersey team coach there to like pick us up and bundle us in like any car possible. We went down there and then we were off the plane and literally playing rugby within like 25 minutes, weren't we? It was like ridiculous.
I think that's when we had a lot of, like, Rusty came, Birdie's dad was there, your parents might have been there, I think quite a few. And we had like probably 10, 15 supporters as well, which was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, we've had some of the awesome old faithful come support us there. And I think they've proved pretty handy, because I think one of the funny stories was there's a nightclub called the Yacht Club, and I think obviously at the time it was Zach Jeffries or maybe someone else. The lads were still 17, so they couldn't get in. Go on, mate. Sorry, you can say.
That's when Big Si was there, Simon Egan.
Yeah. So the lads, obviously, the older lot, all bundled in through the nightclub entrance. But I think Zach got turned away, didn't he? But luckily, Big Simon Eagle was staying at the Yacht Club at the hotel, so managed to get Zach and sneak him through the back entrance and get him in the nightclub anyway. So
in the penthouse suite, might I add, Simon Eagle.
Yeah, I guess so. Cool. Pay for on the business, I would expect. So yeah,
one of my other funny memories from I think it was pre-season tour. It was either there was one down in Kent, if you remember, Catty. I don't know. You must have been
was
there.
It the one where we did the folk week.
Yeah. I think it was that one. It might have been a different one, but we did like a karaoke thing, and some of the boys had to sing.
Yeah, that was.
Winter was sang one, and a few others. And Will Roberts sang. And like normally the first few lines go, and then everyone joins in just so I can come out a bit. But no one sang for Will Roberts. He had to sing the whole thing on his own. It was absolutely class.
Do we know what song?
What was it? I can't remember. But it was good.
We'll have to get him to do it again.
That was in some like 30-old pub, isn't it? Down in Broadstairs.
I've done that top function
upstairs. Quality. We might have to bring that back this year, boys. Get some of the younger boys singing some karaoke.
Kind of initiation style stuff.
And also a good one, thinking of singing the songs, Jamie, was Cup Final, Black Lion karaoke. Fluorescent night.
Sunday night as well.
It was a Sunday night. I remember I had to, for whatever reason, was wearing my work shoes out. So I had fluorescent paint over my work shoes the next day at work. But that was exceptional.
Was that after?
That was Webb's playing, yeah.
Yeah, I remember we went to Weatherspoons and...
that's quite a big night.
We had our club tie. It was shirts off on a Sunday night, club ties around the head, like murdering Wonderwall songs on karaoke with fluorescent paint everywhere. But
good. Another some other ones. Some of our Stags ones, Heart Stags.
Yeah.
Cathy was coaching. We had some good nights that trip, that kind of that season as well. If I remember rightly. One of our buses broke down on the side of the motorway, and we would just ended up getting battered and kicking balls across. I think someone kicked the ball across the motorway. But
we went up to Yorkshire, didn't we? And we got 60 or 30 odd, and we had so many beers on the bus on the way back, like the back seats and like the walkway down to the toilet. You couldn't actually hit the floor; it was just beer cans. And we were just like drinking and throwing.
Yeah, that was a real feral one.
And that was on the way back.
Yeah, I remember Pete Engledale like declared his hatred for like most of the
St Albans boys,
the college boys. What's the college called? The Saracens. Declared his hatred for most of Oakland's boys, apart from a couple of them because they weren't drinking, and basically told them that they weren't going to make it as professional rugby players.
And look at them now.
Yeah, they're probably playing for England now, aren't
they? Oh mate.
Yeah, it was good. There were some good times. Those Hearts days and county stuff was funny.
Yeah, county stuff. I mean, it's been fun. When I've had a trip. I've had one or two trips. I've had a trip to Cornwall after, and it's quite good with the county lot because you're with some different lads, aren't you? Obviously,
Yeah.
you know what to expect when you go out with the normal boys, but you get some people come out of the woodwork when you're with the Hearts lads, and it's and you're often in a far flung place that you haven't necessarily been to before. So
We had a trip somewhere else, didn't we, the county boys? Not going to drop that in.
oh, Sickers HQ.
Twickenham. Yeah,
I don't rattle that off too much, but he's on my.
Just add it to the list, mate. Add it to the list. The stadium to play that.
It's on our CVs, isn't it, mate? It's on our CVs.
Substitute appearance, Twickenham.
Substitute, yeah.
Loss.
15 minutes at Twickenham. I think I knocked the ball on when I first caught it. Apart from that, you know, I haven't got the shirt framed yet. Maybe one day. A runners up. We actually got good stash that year, I have a feeling. The stash the stash isn't too bad actually, is it?
On the finals day, because it was a nice hot day, they gave us vests, didn't they?
Yes, we did get vests.
I think we warmed up in the vests or something.
Oh, grotty.
And then went and lost the game.
I was literally strolling in my vest off the bus, like, yeah. No, county's been good. Would you still like to play a bit more county, Crony, or is that something you've sort of ticked off your list now? Or?
No, I think I would. It's difficult, isn't it? Like, you play like a long season, and then to then go and do another 3-4 games, maybe it's a bit of an ask. But I think it depends on the environment. We were quite lucky. We had obviously Michael Owen, ex-Wales number 8, as the head coach, and Macca was involved, and they made it like a really relaxed, fun environment, and literally gave us license to do what we want. And they ensured we had a good time off the pitch as well. So I think, that really helped. I think if it was to be a lot more serious, and then it probably would put people off after a long, hard season. But I think, I do think it's how your season's gone as well. And sometimes you just want a bit of a rest at the end of the season. But I think it helps when they push the social side of things, because they definitely did that year, and it was good fun. Yeah.
Awesome. So I just wanted to touch on. I don't know if you boys got, but I wanted to maybe see if we can touch on some famous names that we've popped up against, because it might be interesting. That obviously I know from my memory there's a few boys that are out, you know, in the professional game now, and obviously pretty well in the public eye that we've popped up against playing through school and club. Does anyone want to shout a name out as someone they remember playing against?
I'll start, boys. I played against Anthony Allen. Do you remember a guy called Anthony Allen? He was, and
Gloucester or Leicester, was he? Did he?
He was
Leicester.
But I played against him under 18s, and he was just phenomenal. Like, he looked like a footballer, not particularly big. Got the ball and just absolutely carved up. He's probably the best. I just remember that performance. He was pretty special talent.
Was that at school? Sorry,
that was during the school. Yeah, I think divisional or something like that. And he absolutely carved up. He broke into the England squad quite young. I think 19 or 20, and had to retire young. But he was classy, mate. He was very good.
Yeah, I think that's the thing I remember. I think some of these people you play in the younger days, like especially obviously in like good people, like seriously stand out when you're a bit younger, when you're 17, 18, like you really.
Couple of the Crony will probably tell you more from this game, and maybe you as well, Scans, can't remember. You played the Whitgift game?
Yeah, my memory's a bit thin.
We had, two I remember especially because they tore it up and scored, I don't know how many tries, but Elliot Daly and Marlon Yard especially were good. And I think there was a couple of others, Crony. Is that right?
Yeah, I think Harry Williams,
George Merrick.
George Merrick. And then obviously you had, at the time, probably the biggest bloke I've ever played against. Lawrence Okoye, I think. Okoye.
He's an Olympian.
He was an Olympian discus thrower. Then I think he's potentially gone to the NFL, or he went to the NFL at one point.
Yeah.
But I think one of the ones
he wasn't
actually. No, go on, mate.
I was going to say he wasn't even that big a threat compared to some of the other ones. Though. That's the thing.
No, they just put him on a decoy line, and we got scared of him, rightly so. And then they went around us. But I think one of the ones that probably the three of us played against him, and Marcus, you were coaching, I think, at the Stags at the time when we played, was Thomas Francis, played for the Yorkshire 20s.
Did he really?
Yeah, because I propped against him, and I was playing loosehead, and you don't sort of remember it, but he's probably gone on to arguably have like the best international career, sort of up there with Daly. He's the starting tight head for Wales, isn't he? Sort of consistently now. So that's one that sort of hits home a bit. And I think he was a bit of a late comer, so he wasn't in an academy or anything. And then he went to the Championship with Doncaster Knights, and then got snapped up by Exeter. And then that's when he sort of shot through the Welsh ranks. So that's sort of.
Did you have a bit of a tear up with him that day?
No, he absolutely destroyed me.
I think Louis Castrogiovanni got a card on that game, actually.
He got red carded, yeah.
Red card.
He came on off the bench and just started scrapping, didn't he?
Just swinging punches.
Boys, what was the Whitgift score?
We
50-something, 50-5, wasn't it?
We were winning 5-0. We were winning 5-0. That's what you need to know.
Martinson. That was Aaron Martinson scored, didn't
he? Yeah.
We did have Rory Banks at 12 opposite Elliot. Opposite Marlon Yard.
Yeah.
I think Marlon Yard was 12 and Elliot Daly was 13, was it? Did you say Harry Williams was prop, Crony?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's a pretty decent side.
They had some Romanian kid at the other side of the scrum as well. He was obviously like a square.
He was probably massive.
I remember their hooker was their captain as well, and he was like insanely good.
Yeah.
My real only memory from that game was I think I came in at fullback as get on for the last 5 or 10 minutes or something, because I was on the bench, and I just remember getting stubbed, absolutely massively goose stepped and done over by their sub 10. It's who was some tiny skinny kid who was probably 15 who came on and just absolutely
did. He played for England under 16s.
And I was just absolutely give up by this point. Simo's only plan for us was for the 10 to not be able to pass it, wasn't it? So our plan was whoever was standing at C guard was to literally sprint as fast as they could to try and nail the 10, and then the defensive line would just come up behind it, wouldn't it? I think that was the plan.
Yeah, I remember whenever I played flanker, Simo would say, just hit the 10. Doesn't matter if it's late, just hit the 10. Every time, it's just you wanted to smash the 10. And he wouldn't care if you gave away penalties.
Yeah.
I think go on.
I was just saying, go on, carry on, because I was going to talk about something else.
I think we played with nowadays, especially in the national leagues, you play against more and more ex-pros and sort of international stars. I think one of my favourite ones we played against was Duncan Bell down in Lydney, and he was actually playing second row for them, I think.
Yeah.
And my favourite memory of the game was Jimmy Stanford scored a try from the 22-metre line and absolutely stood him up and just goose-stepped him and trotted in, and it was hilarious.
I think I was there that one as well.
Yeah, that was the one you came on at the wing. So that was a funny one to play.
There's been a few lads who have gone up from the National League. So Ellis Genge played against us a couple of times.
Yeah, I remember
Billy Burns.
Ellis Genge he played for us against. Yeah. Well, first time it was Hartpury. He played number 8. And then they moved him to Loosehead, and I propped against him when he must have been 18.
He went to Clifton.
Yeah, and he wasn't a very good. Obviously, he just moved to prop, but he wasn't a very good loosehead. But he was obviously a pretty good ball carrier, and he's obviously gone on to great thing.
Crony, who was the kid that bit someone when we were 16? Wasn't he? Or am I totally dreaming something? It was 16, 17 or something. I think
was it not Sinclair?
Yeah, maybe it was him.
He played for.
Was he not Barking or something?
No, he was one of those teams. Yeah, he was one of them teams down in London in our league. And I'm sure he bit someone and got a 6-month ban or something. I'm sure it was him. It might not have been. But if he's watching and it's not him, I do apologise.
Spreading rumours, yeah.
You heard it here first, guys. We want to get some listeners. Awesome. So I think we're talking pretty freely, but let's move on to this juicy little 15. I think obviously this is something loads of rugby podcasts do is come up with some 15s, and maybe it's been well done. But what we're going to do is, obviously being the forwards on the podcast, Crony and Jamie have come up with 8 8 forwards for us that are going to come from the Hollywood actress arena, and then myself and Marcus have come up with 7 backs, and then we can maybe talk about some substitutes or a coach or something. But I don't know if one of you boys wants to run us through your 1 to 8, and the other person wants to chip in alongside you,
or we do
however you want to do it.
We'll do like 2 names each from each position, and then we can choose the best one, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, right. Well, let's fire us off with number 1 then, and we'll. Who are our props?
Who are our props? Go first, Jamie?
Go on, Tommy.
So my loose head prop is an actor called Ken Deveshan.
Oh, who's Ken?
Better known as Azamat Bagatov from Borat.
Yes,
that's a good shout.
I've got a heavy pack, and he's that very hairy chested, very Sean Edwards-like man that you want in your pack. So
I like that.
My choice at loose head. What about yours, Jamie?
I went for, I think she's lost a bit of weight now, but I've gone for Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, very good.
Better known as what films?
Bridesmaids. Yeah.
Does she play that feisty one? Okay.
Yeah.
She does a lot of comedy, I think. But I was struggling to find some. I also wrote down John Goodman, who was Flintstone. Fred Flintstone.
More of a tight head, I reckon, though. More of a tight head.
Yeah, maybe.
Big lad.
Go on, you go with your hooker, Jamie. You go with your hooker, and then I'll fire away.
I've gone for Mark Wahlberg. Bit of a dislike. Very, very hench and
mobile. Very mobile. Hooker.
He's only about 5'8" or something, but he's got a rig. Very good rig. So I thought bit of muscle. I reckon he's got a good arm as well. So
I went for Russell Crowe.
Yes, feisty.
Very accurate.
I reckon he's got a bit of
feisty,
bit of bite.
And I think he's got that, a little bit of bite to play in the front row. And then
like that. Tight head.
My tight head, Robbie Coltrane, also known as Hagrid.
Hagrid, yeah, good.
Harry Potter.
Bit of an Adam Jones.
He's not actually as tall as he looks in Harry Potter. He's only like 6'1". So yeah, that bearded, horrible man that you need to cornerstone a pack.
Yeah, big beard, big crusty beard in your face. Nice. Who have we got in the row?
Well, just quickly, I had the chap from The Hangover, Zach
Galifianakis.
Yeah, stocky. I reckon he's strong as we like. Bit of a WP now, I reckon.
Good on the socials.
Yeah,
good for the pass. Very good for the tools.
Like Crony and Sean, all tight heads seem to be loose on the beers.
Very, very, very emotional. Cool. Who's in? What Toolans have we got in a row?
Well, Jamie, you go your 2, and then I'll do my 2.
I've got Gwendolyn Christie, who is Brienne of Tarth in Game of Thrones. I think she'd be real top quality.
Yeah.
And I also had Army Hammer. He's the chap, one of the twins. Well, the twin from Social Network. He's about 6'5" and very good looking.
Oh, very niche film, that.
Yeah.
Lovely. Did you watch that recently?
I did actually. I watched it. He's a big man.
Yeah.
I've gone for pure size and weight in my second row. So I've gone Richard Keel, who is Jaws.
Oh, yeah.
He's actually, unfortunately, passed away, but he would in his
and
time.
Happy Gilmore.
Yeah. And then I've gone for Dalip Singh Rana, who is also better known as the Great Khali.
Yes.
From the longest yard.
Yes.
Absolute man mountain. It wouldn't do much in the line out, but
not very mobile.
You wouldn't lift him. Wouldn't lift him, would you?
No.
You would love him to play behind you in a scrum, wouldn't you, Crony?
Yeah, it's like having Liam Caulfield behind you in the scrum, not going up for line-out ball, but very, very good in the loose and behind the scrum.
Lovely. Do you want to finish let's have our flankers, shout some flankers out.
I've got a male and a female for each one here. I've got 6, Dwayne Johnson. Why not?
Ooh,
and lovely. I've also got a little bit of a Rogue One, Scarlett Johansson. I think she'll be physical.
She's in
She could be a centre, but maybe in the back row as well.
she's like in the Marvel films, isn't she, or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go through all mine. I'll go 7. I've got Helena Bonham Carter.
Oh.
Only in when she plays what's her face in Harry Potter though.
Yeah.
And then
Dirty.
or Henry Cavill.
Do anything. Henry Cavill. Yeah, you've got. Is that based on yourself? Good looking.
Yeah, handsome.
Yeah.
Rig.
But decent bit of bang about him as well. Though.
And then I've got Jason Momoa or Uma Thurman. Kill Bill.
Nice.
Lovely.
And there you go, Crane.
I've got Lou Ferrigno, who's Hulk.
Oh yes.
Big.
Yes.
He is absolutely. If you Google him,
Mr. Olympia.
Absolutely.
He played yeah. He used to fight with Arnie, didn't
he? Yeah. And I've got Hugh Jackman at 7.
Yeah, good.
Wolverine. And then I've also gone for Dwayne Johnson in the back row, but this time at number 8. I think he's got what it takes to play 8. So that's mine.
Good.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Yeah, I like your second rows there, Crony. Some nice choices in there.
Yeah,
I know Max Oliver will enjoy Azamat Bogadev at number 1 as well.
Just for him. Marcus, should we kick off with some backs? Do we want to talk about the 9s? Yeah, half backs. Yeah.
Well, I did actually also have Mark Wahlberg at 9. Ooh. I thought, he's smart, but he's also very tough. But I've kind of switched it around. So I've now just substituted Daniel Craig in at 9.
Yeah, I like that.
I think he's got a great rig. He's aggressive, but he's clever as well. So he'll manoeuvre the forwards around the field well. And my 10 is Ryan Reynolds, cocky, bit brash, but I think he would be like the Quade Cooper, I would say, as a 10.
Yeah, very showy. I actually went for quite a different 10. I went for Nicolas Cage at 10. Sorry, something's flashing up on my screen. Nicolas Cage at 10. I thought he's always doing the fixing in films, isn't he? He's always just like sorting out, knows the plan.
A wise head.
Yeah, sorting bits out, and he's just, slick back hair. And then at the 9, I've gone as fast and sharp as you can get in the Hollywood world, which is the main man, Jackie Chan. Got to be Jackie Chan at 9, isn't it? Just absolutely doing bits, isn't he?
Too quick.
You don't know where his hands are, do you? You don't know where his hands are. So let's go. First winger, number 11, Marcus.
I went for Keanu Reeves. Tough, but also he would be his Matrix character. So when he needs to score in the corner, he can morph himself and score, glitch himself. So he.
Okay. Yeah. Nice thought process. I went a bit more leggy. I went with Angelina Jolie. I just had this image of Lara Croft, sort of with the gun strapped to the legs, and the plait running down the wing, sort of thing.
Yeah, nice.
I think you'd feel Twickenham up with that. Centre partnership.
Obviously, this is our domain. So I've gone for Ronda Rousey at 12. I know she's obviously more famous for MMA, but she obviously made an appearance in what's it called?
I don't know what she's in.
She's done a documentary film as well. That's allowed.
But, what's it called? The Entourage film. That's it.
Yeah.
And as me and Scants are, we're both very tough, can handle ourselves. Just gets the go forward in the team. We just get on the front foot and just lay the platform for the rest of the forwards, really. So and then at 13, Will Smith, big ball carrier, but bit of size, bit like Sammy Winter, very physical, good defender, but can get over the game line as well. So a big centre pair in there. Yeah,
Will Smith, very like Sam Winter, Immediately think of Will Smith when I think of Sam Winter.
As a rugby player.
Yeah, obviously. I've gone a bit old school at 12. I've gone for Big John Wayne at 12. Obviously, pretty well-known hard man in the westerns. Just getting shit done. And 13, Christian Bale. Don't know, pretty cool, calm Batman, just doing bits.
Bit of a Henry Slade.
Yeah, bit of a shagger, you know, that sort of like.
Yeah, I reckon.
13s are always like that, aren't they? You know, Sam Winter, you know.
Will Smith.
Will Smith, Sam Winter, Christian Bale, same bloke, isn't it?
It's like a mixture of both.
Our last winger, mate.
Matt Damon as Jason Bourne.
Okay, very sensible.
He can kill someone with a pen, so he could just pop up anywhere on the field. Very dangerous.
I went. Dwayne Johnson's popped up loads, and I put him at 14 as a big winger, but I guess he could go anywhere, couldn't he? He's got to be in the back. Azulonu, yeah, Tats and all. And my 15, I think, as long with Jackie Chan as being one of my favourite picks. On my 15, I've gone Antonio Banderas.
As Zorro, or?
Yeah, as Zorro, just that small.
With a cape.
Yeah, with a cape on, doing that, very, Thomas Castagnette kind of a small little dashing around with the thing on over his eyes, just robbing people. Sword as well.
That was Zorro did.
What about you, Marcus?
I had Hugh Jackman as the Wolverine.
Nice.
A bit of experience as well, at the back, but, cutting edge from the back, cutting edge.
Lovely. And then anyone got any outside shouts or coaches or anything they want to chip in with? Or
No.
No.
No. I was going to go just obviously Samuel Jackson as Coach Carter. Thought that would be good. Anyway,
or Brad Pitt in Moneyball.
Oh, very sensible. He picked a very good team.
The numbers.
All based on stats.
Yeah.
Well, Marcus, do you pick teams based on stats, or what do you pick your team on? Flair? What would
Flair, character.
Who he likes.
Who I like, who pays me the most out of the back brown envelope. Who doesn't get yellow carded a lot.
Are we still going for that pizza after training next week? Yeah.
You're shouting it.
Oh yeah, I booked us in, mate. I paid for it already, so.
Thanks, mate.
Good stuff. No worries.
12 or 13 for first game.
Obviously 12,
13,
mate.
not 13. You are far too slow.
I think you can get away with
I
think you can get away with picking me at 12, mate. But if you put me at 13, someone's going to get suspicious why you're picking me.
Mate, there'd be an inquest if you end up with 13.
The dummy lines.
Yeah. I know. I'll be like Greenwood, who always played 13, but never. It was one way round, wasn't it? Always played 12, but never wore 13, or always played. I can't remember. It was one of those, wasn't it?
We get it.
Yeah, rugby noise chat. Okay, very, very quick word on Six Nations, seeing as we've got two fake / real Scots on. I mean, let's talk about just Scotland sort of in general, what you've liked, and then we'll probably talk Wales, France. We're going to gloss over England because that's pretty poor. But yeah, as a Scotland fan, it must have been an exciting Six Nations. You boys?
Yeah, I think last couple of years Scotland have come on like leaps and bounds, and because at one point in the Six Nations it was them and Italy, wasn't it, and then the other four teams. But yeah, they've got a really good squad and a lot of flair in the background, in the backs. Finn Russell I think he's got to be starting for the Lions. But
do you think jumping in on that? Do you think it's like Finn Russell that's sort of? I know there's generally probably more better players in the Scotland team throughout, but do you think when you look back and look at things like, Pattinson and Dan Parks and those kind of players at 10, do you think it's Finn Russell that's properly unlocked the side of it?
I think
he is a world-class player. Like, everyone plays better outside him than he's playing, as opposed to Hoggy played on Saturday, just gone. And it wasn't nowhere near as good as it has been. So it definitely makes a huge difference. But obviously he's injured now, so it's a big blow, I think.
It's still got to be frustrating though, boys, isn't it? You beat England, you just can't back it up. You can't put 4 or 5 performances together.
It's those games that could go either way. It's never quite falls the right way to Scotland, I think.
That will probably come as if Gregor Townsend picks a similar squad for the next couple of years. I think he could be building towards a Six Nations or a Grand Slam, sort of an attempt, as it were. But it's just going to be frustrating. But
I think in the close games, they may be guilty of playing a bit too much, and I think Stuart Hogg even said that in the interview. But at the same time, that's what's got us where we are. So it's a really tricky one.
I think Scotland have got a very good, even when they have one of their best days, I think they have a very good maybe 11, 12, 13 players. I think they're still just missing, maybe it's one guy in the centre, maybe it's, another second row, or it's a hooker, but just, 2 or 3 other guys that are really at a properly high international level before they start, competing with the Southern Hemisphere sides and maybe, England on their best day or whatever. But yeah,
It's good. It's also good. They've come into quite a good form, and I think they are probably one of the better teams in the tournament this year. Especially coming into London, I think there will be a good few players.
There should definitely be more Scottish players in there than there has been the last 3 or 4 tours.
Good props, a couple of good props. Hoggy, obviously, Russell, and Watson. Watson, and then a couple of others maybe.
I
think they've got way more game changers now as well. You've got Duhan van der Merwe on the wing, and he's obviously he's from the suburbs of Glasgow, Marcus. Really sort of tough.
It's from the suburbs.
He's had a tough one, hasn't he? Tough run.
Yeah, but he's a prime example. He's just a game changer now for Scotland. They give him the ball a lot. He either runs over people, runs round people, and he got a couple of nice tries at the weekend. But I
6'5" and 100 and whatever it is. Christ, you wouldn't want to run in it.
And he's quick as well. No?
Yeah, but I think Saturday showed as well, and it's probably. I feel a bit sorry for the Italians, but I genuinely think their time is up in the Six Nations, because I think it's the first time really where I've not looked forward to watching any of the games that Italy are playing in, because you just know it's just not going to be competitive, and it can't be good fun for them either. I don't know how many on the bounce they've lost, but I think it's in the high 20s or something, and they've got to have a look at whether they carry on in the Six Nations.
The only thing I've said about what sort of thing, I think you're bang on right there. They can't be looking forward to those games and what's it going to take and all of that sort of stuff. But I think if you drop Italy out the Six Nations, where do Italy go? We keep talking about, developing rugby and developing the Southern Hemispheres and this tier 2 and developing all that. But they're also the chat alongside us. If these tier 2 nations want to get better, they need to play tier 1 nations. So it's prime example. Italy actually can use the Six Nations to develop and get better. I mean, we can kick them out.
You can't lose them though.
But I think the argument,
it won't get any better for them.
Yeah,
I'd chuck something back to you, Scans, and say they've been exposed to all the Six Nation teams, and they've arguably either stayed at the same level and everyone's got better, or they're actually deteriorating.
I think that's
whether that be players or whether that just be. It's a really tricky one, and I know I don't think they'll get rid of them, and it's probably a good decision they don't. I just think as sort of getting fans excited for games, where you used to get excited normally for a game in Rome, because it would probably be fairly close for 60, 70 minutes. I think you now get, it's a bit teams will go through the motions.
You've got to remember, France, I think France have lost in Rome, and you look at the team France are now, but I think you're right. I think, because you would have thought of Scotland, Italy, or certainly Italian fans sort of, I might fancy a sniff here. We might not be able to get the wooden spoon here, but Scotland have gone up that level, and I think Italy are just sort of languishing where they are a bit, but they've got a young, I'm excited by the 10, and they've got a few other players maybe, but
they got that winger Ioane, who's actually not a bad player. And if you can't remember,
good Italian name that.
Yeah.
Looks good in a bad team, doesn't he? Although a dopey yellow card at the weekend.
I thought he was lucky not to. That Hoggy landed on his elbow, didn't he? Not his shoulder or neck.
He absolutely smashed Darcy Graham, though. Ooh.
Yeah. What do you think of Hoggy's lid, Crony? Do you think you might go for something like that? A little reseed, a little reseed and a darken up.
there's always hope when you've not gone fully. I think JG is always in my ear about getting rid, but I'm not quite at.
Perhaps you and JG can get a buy one get one half price or something. Maybe.
I think JG's ship has sailed, unfortunately. I remember seeing a couple of photos of him when he was clinging on, and I'm not quite at that stage yet.
They always get pulled out. Those
hat on, mate. Keep that hat on.
Just a bit of promo for the club.
JG.
Just a club hat.
And a quick word on France Wales, seeing as that was probably we'll gloss over England, but France that was quality game.
That was class,
best game.
And I was rooting for France the whole way through it, so it was a real great finish, and couldn't have happened to a better team, Wales.
Yeah, there's not many. Is there any Welsh fans? There's not many Welsh. Not that have popped up recently in the senior squad. I don't know if there's any Welsh.
No, Ollie Jones.
Is he the only one?
That was their best performance of the championship. I still think Wales.
By far.
But France finished fast, and again a little bit of
some of the
game
discipline
management.
Though.
Yeah, terrible.
Shocking. So
It
they
was.
deserved.
I think France were not lucky, but they sort of ground out them 2 wins at the start against Ireland and Scotland. I thought they played really well against England. Wales did, and then it's. I guess they've, like McCarthy said, they put their best performance in, and unfortunately they didn't get the Grand Slam, which is quite nice.
It was nice to see. And another big victory of the Six Nations was me beating you in the fantasy, Crony. Thank you very much.
Wow.
It's not over yet, is it? Got another week?
Yeah, we've actually got Friday to come.
No, it counts as over, mate, doesn't it? Because they already...
Oh, yeah, you got your points, didn't you?
Isn't it technically over?
Who won? Who won it, though?
Joss Linney, I think. I think it was Joss, clearly, Norse.
Chap.
Obviously, a lot of research went in that. He probably knows some of the boys as well, so probably had some inside info. So I know I beat Crony. I think Wince did right.
Sheethy was doing quite well, I think.
Was he the Wadfather?
Was he the Wadfather?
I assumed he was. I assumed it was him.
Yeah, I think he came second. So that was good fun. I think we should spread that out. Maybe with the fans and stuff next time. We can get that worldwide. Nice one. I think we've been talking for a while, which has been great. But shall we finish up with our questions, Marcus? I'll let you lead us away like you always do.
So your favourite excuse to stay at the club for another beer? Give us your best lines, boys.
Well, I struggled this week because it's normally something like, I'm leaving now, and then just a standard classic. Or we were actually talking about this earlier, Crony, weren't we? I've just been bought a beer, so I'll finish that, and it's like 3 beers.
Yeah.
Or that kind of thing. Or I owe someone a beer. So or Crony's got a good one.
I think a good one is you just. The away trips, obviously, the easiest ones to do, I think, because you can always be like, oh, yeah, we haven't left yet, or delayed it, or the bus driver's got to stop for an hour when he doesn't. That's always a good one.
You let it out the bag, mate. You let it out the bag.
Or
that's
giving away our secrets.
It's all right. They won't have watched. They won't have endured it all the way to the end, so we're safe.
I seem to remember Matt Tomlinson getting caught out a couple of times.
Yeah, we mentioned that. Did you not listen to that on one of our other podcasts, Jamie?
It's on my list of today.
But in a similar sort of thing, Jamie and I have we no longer use we're going to get taxis back to Epping.
I was going to say you boys get picked up together and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, we had a slight incident.
We get dragged out of bars by an angry woman.
I agreed with Soph that we'd get picked up at I think it was 11 p.m. or something outside outside the road where Half Moon and Waterlane are. And Jamie and I were probably too many beers in to sort of remember what we'd agreed. And so Soph pulled up. Jamie was in the kebab shop, so she went and got Jamie out of the kebab shop and put him in the car.
Did you manage to get your kebab at this point?
I was sitting in the front seat eating.
And then
helping.
I was in the basement in Waterlane, obviously no signal on the phone, and Jamie didn't know where I was. So next thing, Soph had probably been waiting for half an hour, and then next thing, I was by the the bar near the bottom of the stairs, I think with Cass and Reece Lane, next thing out the corner of my eye, I saw Soph coming down the stairs, and I was like, I just suddenly went from absolute mess to like stone cold sober. I was like, oh, what are you doing here? And it was like, I've been waiting outside for 45 minutes. Can you get in the car? And then I think Jamie and I decided to have an argument in the car and like blame it on each other. So we've agreed that if we're out, when we're out again, we just get taxis back and save the hassle of that.
That was a real horrible night.
Oh.
Poor Soph.
There's a new someone moving to Epping or moving back to Epping, boys. Mr. James Lang is moving back to Epping.
Oh, that'll help you boys out then.
No, that's dangerous. That is dangerous.
That'll make you go out on the piss less.
Oh, the last time I proper went out on the piss with Langers was at that Sevens tournament we played at. In where Birdie's dad and Birdie sponsored the team.
Yeah, and, Birds of Paradise.
Langers and I slept on my sofa bed together. Soph had never met him, and she came down in the morning, sort of looking at Langers like, "Who are you?" Spooning my boyfriend on the sofa bed.
Oh, if you both had your tops off as well, that would have been a horrible sight.
That is Rig City there.
That is anti-Rig City.
Oh, that's dangerous that he's back in Epping, isn't it?
Okay.
Has he moved yet? Is he back in or?
No, April. I think it's a couple of weeks.
Very good.
Take him down the Merry Fiddlers, eh?
Yeah.
Get him in the Epping gang. Everyone wants to be in Epping.
Get him chucked out.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, lads. I think that's probably been maybe our longest podcast yet, but fairly free flowing and some good stories and nice little finish at the end there. So thanks for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed it.
Cheers, guys. And yeah.
Just obviously, I know, Jamie, you were pretty pleased to come on the podcast because when I told you were on it, your literally reply within about 10 seconds was "fuck's sake." So I hope it hasn't.
Nah, it's fine, mate. I don't mind doing my bit.
I knew Crony would love the limelight a lot more.
Yeah.
I knew he'd love it.
It just opens up so many opportunities.
It does, doesn't it, mate?
Yeah, Handy Club Stash, that kind of thing.
Handy Club Stash. And actually, it might put a little sort of rocket up James Ayrton's backside and he might start producing larger size stash and I can buy some of his stash as well. So we never know. But it's been good fun, lads. And let's be honest, you're probably going to get your most views on this podcast. So
yeah, probably. There's three. There's now 3 good-looking lads on this, and you. So, all right, smashing. Thanks for joining us. Everyone, thanks for listening. I hope you've made it this far and listened right the way to the end because that'd be awesome. And I think myself and Marcus just chatted before. We've got plans probably to sneak another one of these in, and then we'll probably be looking forward to getting closer to some rugby. So we're doing some sort of special podcasts or some videos around the rugby and the games and talking to some different people still. So thanks for joining us. Please like, share, subscribe, and love it. Keep waving, everyone. Thanks for listening. Wave, Crony.